comic strips do ever exist. It's been adapted into stage plays, into movies. It's very heartwarming. Everyone knows it. There are specific scenes and quotes from it that have traveled a long way. One of those is little Linus and Charlie Brown arguing about the Great Pumpkin versus Santa Claus. Linus sincerely believes every year on Halloween night, the Great Pumpkin rises up out of the pumpkin patch and brings toys to all the good little girls and boys in the world. Charlie Brown thinks he's crazy, and Linus responds, "All right, so you believe in Santa Claus, I believe in the Great Pumpkin. The way I see it, it doesn't matter what you believe, just so long as you're sincere." This was said by small children arguing about the existence of Santa Claus and the Great Pumpkin. So it's kind of sad that that's still an attitude today. You believe what you want, I'll believe what I want. It doesn't matter what you believe as long as you are sincere about it. So let's look at the idea that sincerity is the only thing that matters in belief and show that being sincere isn't enough. So first of all, let's look at what we could sincerely believe. You could sincerely believe some pretty destructive things. I could sincerely believe if I climbed the roof and jumped off it, I would be fine. And that's not just some silly example. People with schizophrenia, their brains are broken in a way that makes them sincerely believe things that aren't real. People who take psychotropic drugs, again, their brains are modified so they sincerely believe things that aren't real. You can sincerely believe things and it still be very destructive to you. To take this point even further, the Ku Klux Klan and Nazi Germany, both examples of groups who sincerely believed that another race of people, that another group of people were below them and deserving of torture. Even if you sincerely believe things, that can be very destructive. Take it back a couple thousand years, in the Garden of Eden, the serpent told Eve, if you eat this fruit, it's okay. You'll become like God, it'll be fine. And Eve sincerely believed that. She was deceived and sincerely believed that, but it led to very destructive consequences. Being sincere isn't enough. Now, most people would tell me that this statement has nothing to do with our belief in reality or morality, but is instead a statement about religious attitude, which means that they really don't see what religious attitude is. Religion is about how we perceive our reality, how we perceive morality. Let's look at how you could be sincere in religion and be wrong. Many Buddhists believe when they die they're reincarnated, while on the other hand, many Muslims believe that God will judge their actions when they die and send them to either heaven or hell. What if they both sincerely believe that? The Buddhist sincerely believes they're going to be reincarnated. The Muslim sincerely believes that God's going to judge their actions. Which is true? Does it matter? What if what you believe is wrong? Most religions believe that if you don't believe what they believe, you aren't going to be going to the best place when you die. The only exceptions to these rules are atheism and deism, which is saying that there is no God, or that God existed, but the universe in motion doesn't care. So, looking at this statement and believing this statement, that it doesn't matter what you believe, as long as you're sincere, means you're either saying God doesn't exist, or he doesn't care. So proving that God exists and God cares shows that this attitude is wrong. And if this attitude is wrong, then being sincere isn't enough. There's concrete evidence that God exists and God cares about us. The two of these arguments that God exists are the maker argument and the moral argument. The maker argument is basically just look around you. Look at the complexity of the universe. Look at the tiny atoms to the ginormous galaxies. Look and see all of this is set in motion and in some incredible balance. There's still some things about the universe that we do not understand, or the fact that we ourselves are conscious of the fact that we do not understand. That we have the ability to want to know more about the universe, and as we try to know more, all we're finding out is that there's so much we don't know. It's so big, there has to be a maker behind it. According to Paul Ellis, the probability of the universe working as well as it does, at the level of complexity it is, and for conscious life to evolve, is about the same probability as monkeys tapping randomly on a typewriter, producing the entire works of Shakespeare. Have you ever seen a monkey Shakespeare? The fact that the universe could come to being without a maker is kind of a silly thought. Another one is the moral argument, which was mainly introduced by C.S. Lewis. That came up with two premises. First of all, that there is a universal moral law. There are things we know that are morally good and morally wrong. For example, we know that murder is wrong. We know that being loyal is good. Why? If you just think of all the things that you know are bad or you know are good and ask yourself why, it can get kind of crazy. Of course, some people produce the theory that it's because of some loyalty to the group, that we evolved these things so that the group could say, so we know that murder is wrong because it hurts the group. However, that doesn't really stand. Why would you consider it good, then, to donate to a homeless person who you've never seen before and who can have no impact on your life? There are some things that we believe are good, and there are some things we believe are bad. And there's obviously a universal moral law that we believe we have to adhere to. And that moral law does not come from anything inside the universe, because we cannot find a source for it. Which means it comes from something beyond the universe and above the universe. So this shows that God exists, but not only does he exist, but he cares. God is involved in our day-to-day lives. I believe almost everyone here has a story about how God is involved in their day-to-day lives. For me, it's every day as I battle my own thoughts that I'm not good enough, I have somebody right next to me fighting the battle for me, telling me that I am good enough. And that is God involved in my life. That's how I know God cares in my life. But one story almost everyone in this room shares in common is the most powerful example of how much God cares about us. Going back to the moral law argument, while we know there are some things that are morally good and morally bad, we know we don't measure up to this. There are parts of this that we know we don't meet. But his most amazing involvement with us, his most amazing example of how he cares, the proof that he cares, is sending his son. Going back to Eve, whose sincere belief got us all in a lot of trouble because she ate the forbidden fruit. God gave Adam and Eve one rule, said don't eat the forbidden fruit, and they did, and that created a problem. That has stuck with us. Our inability, it's created our inability to meet this moral law, to meet this perfect standard. Because we can't meet this perfect standard, God helped us meet it. God gave us a way to meet it by sending his son. He gave us the bridge to him, the way to become perfect, an example of how to become perfect, and a way to become perfect. Jesus' sacrifice for us is the biggest example of how he cares for us. And you don't find that in any other religion. You could sincerely believe another religion that says you have to be perfect to get to heaven, but I sincerely believe we can't be perfect. And it is proven we cannot be perfect. Not from any other God have we seen the sacrifice of God himself coming down to earth to show us he cares and to give us salvation. Acts 4:12 says, salvation is found in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven given to men through which we must be saved. So being sincere isn't enough, but sincere belief in Jesus is. To end this, let's look at 2 Kings. And in 2 Kings 18, the Assyrian army was going through the entirety of their known world, conquering every nation systematically, destroying them. Nobody could stand a chance against them. They came up to Jerusalem in the days of King Hezekiah. And this is something that they said to them: do not listen to Hezekiah, for he is misleading you when he says the Lord will deliver us. Has the God of any nation ever delivered his land from the hand of the king of Assyria? Where are the gods of Hamath and Arpad? Where are the gods of Sepharvaim, Hena, and Ibba? Have they rescued Samaria from my hand? Who of all the gods of these countries have been able to save his land from me? How then can the Lord deliver you? So the countries before, the countries the Assyrians ran into, sincerely believed their gods would protect them, and they didn't. Of course, the ending of the story in 2 Kings 19 is that the Assyrians were never able to attack Jerusalem. The night before, all of a sudden, a large majority of the people in the camp mysteriously died. In the Bible, it says the angel of death went through the camp. God was protecting them. All those other nations sincerely believed in their gods. But our God, the one we sincerely believe in, he is the one who is able to protect his country, who is able to protect his people. So it does matter what you believe. And it is good to be sincere, but you can't just sincerely believe in anything. Sincere belief isn't enough, but sincere belief in Jesus is enough.
Amen. Amen.